Hi, and welcome to Medical Matters. Most of the shows that we have created in the 3 years on our TV show have dealt with allopathic medicine, which means that we've been interviewing DOs and MDs. But so many of our viewers said, Dave, we're interested in alternative medicine, chiropractic, vitamins, detoxification. Could you explain those things a little bit? And so we went looking for someone who's an expert to talk about those topics with you. The show we're starting with as part of this series is Detoxification of the Body. And we, of course, are featuring Dr. Keith Unger, who has the Center for Natural Medicine. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thanks, and thanks for having me.
Great. Now, I understand that you have a radio show at the present time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, every Sunday mornings from 10:05 to 11, I have a live call-in talk show where people can call in to the program and ask me health questions, whether it be related to medicinal components or herbs or alternative medicine. So really, we discuss different topics every week.
Right. And in northeastern Ohio, that show is on 100.1 on the FM dial.
That is correct.
And it airs on Sundays. It's a live show for, is it 10 to 11?
10:05 to 11, yes.
10:05 to 11, and the name of that show is?
It's called the Dr. Unger Show.
Okay. Now, I do have a disclaimer that I want to go over with you. If we were to ask the average hospital physician or osteopathic physician, what do you think of alternative medicine? We're going to hear a lot of answers. Some people very much support alternative care, and others do not. Now, as far as which parts of it are helpful to your health and which ones aren't, that's kind of your decision. But again, our purpose today is to bring in someone who's pretty well versed in those to help. Now, statement number one is that you should always inform your MD or your DO when you're going to be utilizing alternative treatments of some kind. Why is that, Doctor?
Well, it's very important that they understand so that they know what's going on as far as what the course of treatment should be, if there's any maybe side effects or contraindications, if someone's going to have surgery. So it's always important to tell them about it. Now, as you said, some of the people in the medical arena may not recognize what alternative medicine is, and so if they just say that, you know, I don't believe in that or I don't recognize it, then, you know, I think that, you know, that they have to talk to somebody who actually knows a little bit more about it. But they should always keep their doctor informed of what types of treatments or vitamins or supplements that they're on.
Let me ask you this question. Now, for most people, their involvement with alternative medicine might start with taking vitamins. And just to touch on, and by the way, maybe one question I should start with really is, what is included in alternative medicine? Let's start there.
As far as different types of practices and techniques?
Yeah, what are the things that are included in that?
First of all, let's define what alternative medicine is, because alternative medicine is defined as medicine that's not practiced or recognized by mainstream medicine. And so there are a lot of different types of practices of alternative medicine. To name a few, we have acupuncture, we have naturopathic doctors, we have herbalism or Chinese herbal herbs. We also have, you know, chiropractic, massotherapy, we have reflexology, we also have energy medicine, we have frequency medicine. So there's a lot of different types of techniques or actually, you know, groups that actually work on alternative medicine.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point that there's kind of a crossover today where, as an example, massotherapy is currently used in a lot of hospitals. So, and almost most Americans take vitamins. So there's a lot of the elements of alternative medicine are deeply ingrained in American society and are utilized on a regular basis. I know that one question I was starting with before related to vitamins. For most people, alternative medicine might mean purchasing vitamins. Who do you think is qualified to give advice on whether you should take vitamins or not? I mean, is it a health food store? Who is qualified in your opinion?
Well, that depends upon their education. You have to realize that there's a lot of, there's probably 7,000 different types of products on the market at the health food stores or the local pharmacy, and you know, you don't know who you're talking to, what type of degree or education they actually have. And you know, just because you read something on the internet and you say, I have that symptom, you shouldn't run down to the store and buy that vitamin or herb, for instance, because maybe you don't actually need it. So I always like to test people first to determine whether or not they need those particular supplements.
Great. Well, that completes our introduction. And of course, in each of the shows in this series, and there are 6 total, we'll try to describe what alternative medicine is. But let's get into today's topic, which is detoxification. Introduce me a little bit to this idea.
Well, we have to realize that our body is really inundated with chemicals and toxins, and we have to realize that our body has to get rid of them. And the way we do that is through the detoxification pathways. And this is usually performed in the liver. And what happens is that when these pathways become compromised, they actually can lead to certain types of problems in the body, such as fatigue. You might have thyroid problems, autoimmune problems, maybe cholesterol problems, high blood pressure problems. What happens is these toxins can actually get in the body and actually wreak havoc on our communication system. And so what they do is that they can block, say, certain hormone messages from getting into the cell, or they can put in a weaker signal or a stronger signal into the cell, and that can actually disrupt our chemistry.
Right. And I think this is a good time to mention again that anytime you utilize anything with alternative medicine, you do want to run it by your physician, be it an MD or DO, so that they understand what you're doing. And of course, this topic, when we talk about detoxification, not every physician in America is going to agree that this is something that they see as valid. But we're going to continue with this because there is a lot of interest in detox on the part of Americans. And I guess one question is, how do, to your mind, how do our bodies become so toxic today?
Well, we have to realize that, you know, we have food products, our air, our water, our home, our pesticides that are out there, body lotions, shampoos, and then also something we call xenohormones, which are basically things that are foreign to the body that can come in and actually mimic hormones in the body.
Right. Now, we have a slide up right now, and those are just plastic bottles floating in a river, I think.
Yeah, we have to realize that plastics wreak havoc on our communication systems. These plastics get into our system. They sometimes leach out of plastic water bottles. The plastic leaches into the water, and they're known as phthalates. And these things actually can block our receptor sites or gum up our receptors. So when the hormone goes to go into the receptor, that it actually can't get the message into the cell. And you can see that a lot of the rivers where the plastics are, or by plastic factories, it's starting to affect the actual environment of the water and the fish and the marine life in the water.
Right. As a matter of fairness, we don't have a representative here of a company that makes plastic bottles, and they haven't had a chance to respond to this particular point. I'm guessing that they would say that certain types of plastic are proven to be totally harmless. Others they're not totally sure about. But I would say that this represents opinion, and there could be other opinions out there. But so what you're saying is that in the air we breathe, the foods that we eat, the containers that we put food in, there are a lot of things that can actually put pesticides, this type of thing, into the body's system, and that those pollutants or whatever could affect the good functioning of your body.
Yeah, we really like to, refer to them as toxins in the body. And we have to realize that these toxins have to get out of our system. They are chemicals. They are foreign to our body. They are not our body's friends or our body's enemies. And so what happens is that these toxins, when they build up, if your liver detoxification pathways aren't working, they can actually disrupt the endocrine system. And they can disrupt the physiology of the body and the biochemistry of the body. And that's basically where the cells actually do the work on the cellular level. So if they can affect these little if they can be affected at a cellular level, this can actually change our chemistry and maybe lead us down the road to pathology.
I had read an article, and I'm not an expert on pesticides, but I had read that some pesticides actually break down quickly after they're applied to fruit, maybe after 10 days or so. What's the problem you have with pesticides, personally?